Welcome back to the channels. My name is Thomas Fletcher, and I'm the host of both the LCSW Network and the Military Social Work Network. If you're new to both of these channels, please do me a favor by smashing that like button, by subscribing to the channels, and by sharing this video with your social work colleagues and friends. The purpose of both of these channels is to create a community of hope and support, where civilian and military social workers can come for relevant news, information, and inspiration. Well, just my standard disclaimer that this video is not being endorsed, promoted, sponsored, or compensated by the DoD or by any military or governmental agencies, and the views and opinions stated in this video are mine alone. All right, so welcome back to Ask a Military Social Work series. Today I will be answering a question by a viewer named Airman Gonzo. So Airman Gonzo asked, I'm an active duty Air Force and currently in my MSW program. What made you choose the Army for social work over the other branches? Thank you. Well, first of all, Airman Gonzo, thank you so much for sending me this question. So I guess I need to credit my choice for choosing the Army to a former supervisor and mentor. Kudos and shout out to Guy LeMunyon. So just a little story. Back in 2004, when I started working at the VA as a civilian social worker, I think the first or second day I started, in walks Guy LeMunyon in, actually it wasn't this uniform, it might have been the BDUs or the ACUs. Again, this is back in 2004. And I was like, who is this guy? Why is he in a uniform? But anyway, I got to know him, and he started just sharing his story and his experiences. He was previously enlisted during the Vietnam War. He was drafted like everybody else. He was a medic. But later on, he went back, after the war, he went back to school. He got his RN license. By the time I met him in 2004, he had already been practicing as an RN in the VA, I don't know, probably 15, 20 years. But at that time, Guy was serving as an Army National Guard service member. So over the years, he would talk about these far-off places called Camp Roberts and Camp San Luis Obispo. And back then, I had no reference point to understand what he was talking about. But, I would listen. I would listen to his experiences. Sometimes we would have debates over politics, but that was fine. But, Guy was a very positive role model for me. And by 2000, actually back in 2008, I guess I was already subconsciously sold on serving as a Army social worker. So I talked to the Army Reserves, but at the time, it might have been actually not 2008. It was before I got my California LCSW. So when I talked to the Army Reserves prior to finishing my LCSW, they told me, sorry, sir, your LMSW from New York will not qualify you to serve as a social worker, for the Army. So I took that. I finished everything that I needed to finish to get my LCSW. And by 2011, I went back to the Army Reserve, asked my mentor, Guy LeMunyon, for a letter of recommendation. And he informed me, again, being a good mentor that he's been, he informed me that the Army National Guard was actually giving out bonuses. And I was going to join the Army Reserve for no bonus. So I said, wow, that's way too easy. So that's kind of my story, Airman Gonzo. And I would also add, because I did some research, before starting this video. So let me also tell you another reason why it was probably easier for me to join the Army than the other services. So actually, by the time I joined the Army, I was over 40 years old. I was still able to join without age waiver, and as I've talked about in a previous video, you need it for the Army. You need age waiver after 42. As for the other services, I don't think the other, and I've talked about this in the other video, I don't believe the other services provide age waivers the way the Army does. So that was another factor. As I've shared in previous videos, I did talk to a Navy Reserve recruiter, but they told me that they hold the social work Navy Reserve positions for their sailors that are coming off of active duty. So the active duty social workers, I guess they are guaranteed a spot to finish up their contract. So that's another reason. But I think there's another, I guess, more scientific reason, and that's just the sheer numbers. If you look at it, the Army is the largest branch of the military. As of fiscal year 2020, the Army had over 1 million soldiers, actually 1,005,725 soldiers. And that consists of 480,893 active duty or regular Army service members, 336,129 National Guard service members like myself, and 188,703 Army Reserve service members. And now if you compare that to the fiscal year 2020 numbers for the U.S. Navy, there was only 346,520 sailors for the entire Navy in fiscal year 2020. If we look at the Air Force is the second largest branch with a total of 506,084 airmen, not counting the 172,857 civilians. That 500,000 airmen number breaks down to over 329,000 active duty airmen, 69,000 reserve airmen, and then 107,000 Air National Guard airmen. So actually, if you just look at it by the numbers, the odds of, especially myself joining as an older social worker, the odds were in my favor to join the Army versus the Navy or the Air Force. I have thought about, before I finish my 20 years, I have thought about crossing over possibly to the Army Reserves as well as to either the Air Force Reserves or the Air National Guard. So I just need to talk to recruiters and see, if I have some options to transfer to either the Army Reserve, Air Force Reserve, or Air National Guard as a social worker. But again, Airman Gonzo, the main reason was my mentor and my supervisor. My mentor and my supervisor was an Army National Guard service member, so he directed me, and he had a positive influence on me, so I followed in his footsteps. So I hope I answered your question to your satisfaction, Airman Gonzo. But again, thank you for sending in your questions. And again, I invite all of my viewers, send me your questions about being a military social worker. I love it. Keeps me on my toes, so thank you. First of all, I want to just thank everybody for watching this video, and to all the social workers out there, thank you for the work that you do every day for your clients, for your agency, and for the profession. Please continue to support each other and yourselves. Bye for now.